the Oklahoma newsroom, this is an OSU update. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Kyle Fredrickson. Kyle, Mike Gundy saying Monday during his weekly press conference, 2 quarterback systems. He generally doesn't like a 2 quarterback system unless it works like this. It's working really well for the Cowboys as Mason Rudolph starts and J.W. Walsh comes in and has become something of a touchdown maker for this Cowboy offense. Why does this seem to work so well?
Well, it's because of the personalities, I think. And Gundy said, yeah, I love the QB system, but it's because of how well these guys work together. And, you know, it's easy for coaches and players to say, well, they're friends, they get along, they're team first. And while those things all might be true, I think the real reason that these guys work so well together is this shared respect. You know, talk about each guy. You know, Mason Rudolph comes in his very first start on the road in Baylor and performs fantastic. You know, goes on for Bedlam and Cactus Bowl victories. For Walsh, a senior guy, he's going to appreciate that. On the flip side, here's J.W. Walsh, you know, a veteran guy who takes Rudolph under his wing that week before Baylor, you know, gets him ready for the game, an incredibly tough environment, incredibly tough assignment for a young passer. So, you know, they share that mutual respect, and when you take that relationship and you plug it into this type of game plan with the way that they're using Walsh in the red zone. I mean, you know, on 14 completions this year, Walsh has 7 touchdowns.
That's amazing.
And those would all have gone to Rudolph when we think about it, if they didn't have this package. So you're talking about a guy who's taking away another quarterback's numbers, but he seems really not to care. And it's easy not to care when you're 7-0, you know, going into a big road game at Texas Tech this weekend. But regardless, you know, you really have to put your ego to the side and put the team first, and it appears that both these guys have done that.
You know, we saw a 2 quarterback system similar to this at OU a couple years ago with Blake Bell being the belldozer and Landry Jones being the starter. I sort of got the sense as that one went along, there might have been a little bit of animosity there. And maybe that was because these guys were a little closer in age to each other. The starter was the elder to the younger guy. I don't know. But it does seem like Mason Rudolph is okay with it. And the other thing that comes to my mind is that the way that they're using J.W. Walsh doesn't disrupt the flow of the offense, which I thought it might, Kyle, but it doesn't seem to do that either.
Yeah, it's a weird situation, and you know, even the teammates have said, yeah, when it's late in games and we've got guys going back and forth, they don't care because they have that amount of trust and respect for both of these guys. And you know, I hate to overplay this narrative of J.W. Walsh, the workhorse, but that's what everyone says. He's the guy who's leading all the team drills. He's always been the guy who's been that vocal voice. So, you know, for Rudolph to say, hey, no, I need to have, you know, more carries than this guy, he's not only disrespecting Walsh, he's disrespecting that whole team and the whole coaching staff, and he gets that. You know, he's smart enough to understand that. And also what's an interesting facet of this and something that's going to play out in the next few months is J.W. Walsh, if he wanted to, could apply for another medical red shirt. You know, I asked him on Monday, is that what you want to do? And you could tell even if he had decided, he wasn't about to tell me. He said that, you know, let the season play out. We'll think about that when the time comes. But, you know, Mike Gundy and company would love to have him back because, you know, a full season of seeing how this works, you know, I imagine they could get real creative going down the line and how this system would set up. And, you know, as efficient as it's been now, you know, it'll be interesting to see if they could carry that over into a whole nother year.
You almost wonder, too, if in some ways J.W. Walsh is thankful that this is working out because he's stayed healthy.
Right.
He gets to be a huge part of this offense, but as a starter, he's always gotten hurt. Now he's stayed healthy, and yet he's been vital. It's working out on all sides, it seems like.
Right. You know, it's interesting you bring that up because that's another part of this respect factor. Mason knows what JW's gone through in his career. It hasn't been easy. This isn't the first time that JW has been in a season where he's splitting reps with another quarterback. You can go back to Clint Shelf and then, you know, bringing in Wes Lunt, and it's just, it seems like every year he's either hurt or he's splitting time. So to give him this opportunity to score so many touchdowns and be just ridiculously efficient, it's kind of just a tip of a cap to a guy who's meant a lot to this program. 5
touchdowns against Kansas on Saturday, a passer rating of 346.2.
Not bad.
Not bad. Pretty good for J.W. Walsh. Exactly. We'll leave it at that. Thanks, Kyle. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoma.